Postman Pat and the Hole in the Road. It was a fine day in Greendale. Pat was on his way with his van full of letters and parcels for the village and for the farms and cottages scattered all along the valley. Down at Greendale Village School, they had made a model volcano. "Just think, children," said Mr. Pringle, "of all that hot rock going bubble, bubble, whoosh under the ground."
"You'd get your feet hot," said Katie.
"No, you wouldn't,"
said Bill Thompson, sploshing away at his volcano painting.
"You could wear your wellies."
"It was a long time before wellies were invented," said Mr. Pringle. "The volcanoes made our lovely Greendale hills long before there were any people, never mind wellies. Great holes in the ground, with rock oozing out like toffee."
"Did you say toffee?" said Tom. "I like toffee."
"I said the rock was like toffee," said Mr. Pringle, "because it was all oozy, and it was so long ago that it was even before the dinosaurs came. You can all do a lovely painting tomorrow for open day, but it's home time now."
"What if," said Julian, as they were putting their shoes on, "what if there was a volcano under the ground here, under our school?" "Better put your wellies on and look where you're going," said Katie. "Ooh," said Lucy.
Pat was waiting at the gate for Julian. "Time to go home," said Pat. The next morning it seemed very quiet in the village when Pat was on his way to collect the letters. When he arrived at the post office, Mrs. Goggins was talking to someone on the telephone.
"Oh, yes. Yes, I certainly will. Don't you worry now. It'll be all right. I feel sure of that. Did you say it was near Thompson Ground? Oh, dearie me, what next? Yes, I'll tell him. I'll tell him to be really careful. Bye for now."
"What was all that about, Mrs. Goggins? What have I got to be so careful about?" said Pat.
"Oh, dear, well, that was P.C. Selby," said Mrs. Goggins. "He's in ever such a confaddle. It seems that there's a great gaping hole in the middle of the road near Thompson Ground, and he doesn't want anyone falling down it. He says it's big enough to swallow a cow."
"Oh, I know what that means," said Pat. "Road closed. Diversion. Cones and bollards and bits of plastic tape all over the place. How does he think I'm going to get through with all these letters and parcels?"
"Oh, what a business it is," said Mrs. Goggins.
"It must be these volcanoes wakening up again," said Pat. "Julian was on about it last night. They've been doing it at school. Volcanoes and earthquakes and such like. That's how Greendale was made in the first place."
"Nay, Pat, it's only a hole in the road. Don't get carried away," said Mrs. Goggins.
"Well, I can't post all these letters in a hole in the road, can I? Never mind, the post always gets through somehow. Cheerio." Pat was still muttering to himself as he loaded up his van. What if a dinosaur came galloping out of that hole? You never know what might happen. I wonder if dinosaurs get letters. Now then, Jess, what did dinosaur cats look like? I bet they ate some huge fish. Alf was out on his tractor. Pat stopped for a chat. "What do you reckon to this hole in the road, Alf?" "What hole?" said Alf. "I've seen nothing. I've been ploughing this field since early on." "There's a great hole just outside your house. P.C. Selby shut the road off. There are notices all over. No road, keep out, danger. "Oh dear," said Alf. "How am I going to get home? I'd best be off." There was a parcel for Greendale Farm. "Hello? Is there anybody in?"
"Hello, Pat," said Mrs. Pottage. "Oh, a lovely parcel."
Come and see our pictures,
said Katie.
they're for our volcano project.
"Volcanoes?" said Pat. "You don't think it's a volcano making that great hole in the road, do you?"
"Oh, Pat, I don't think it can be as bad as all that," said Mrs. Pottage.
"I hope not," said Pat. "Cheerio, and mind how you go." Pat kept a careful lookout just in case there were any new holes that no one knew about. When he came to the crossroads, he had to stop. There was a huge sign with one word on it: diversion, blocking the road ahead. "Oh dear," said Pat, "we can't go that way." There was a blue arrow showing the new route, and Pat had to follow it. "Now, Jess, where are we going to get to? I know Selby and his diversions. Last time I went this way. Hang on. I think we're lost." There was another diversion sign blocking the road, with more blue arrows. Not another. But these arrows are pointing back the other way. Pat drove down a winding road. There was only just enough room for his van to squeeze between the hedges. Then he came to yet another diversion. "What's this? The man must be mad," said Pat. "Oh no. We are lost now. I think we're in Timbuktu." Jess wondered if there were any mice in Timbuktu. "I wonder if we turn right here," said Pat. But it was no good. It only led to another diversion sign. Then Pat rubbed his eyes. "I've just spotted where we are, Jess. We're back where we started." Then Alf came chugging along on his tractor. "Don't follow me," said Pat. "I'm lost. If you follow these signs, you just go round in a great big circle." "Nay, Pat, I can't be bothered with all that," said Alf. "I have to get home and get my dinner. Let's shift this clutter out of the way." Alf dumped the diversion sign in the hedge. "There you are. No problem," said Alf, and he drove off down the road. Pat followed not far behind.